What a shot that is.
Here are a number of times when snooker players attempted what is essentially a trick shot in an important match, ranging from the helpful to the completely unnecessary. But as usual, we're going to find out which of these shots is best by recreating all of them as accurately as possible and then playing them in the fewest possible attempts. And we're beginning with Ronnie O'Sullivan at the World Championships, using top right to spin the cue ball around two cushions and finish in behind the blue into the green pocket. Not a straightforward shot, but he did pot it before taking the pink and black as well. I'm looking to get in exactly the same position, so to do that I'm going to have to judge both the pace and the spin around the cushions, and the fact that I'm using a lot of side spin and quite a bit of pace make not only the pot a challenge, but it's difficult to get the cue ball to run around the cushions on the right line at the right speed. And I think I've got it. I've stopped just about in time, so can I pot the blue? I've got it, so let's see how this shot does. Well, at least that's one down, which means we can now move on to Judd Trump, who's playing this classic exhibition shot. Not that that makes it any easier, because you need to use a lot of topspin to arc the cue ball down the table, avoiding all the colours, and make it break wide enough to get around the brown. Predictably, the problem I'm actually having is my table isn't as reactive, so I'm struggling to make it topspin down the table as much. I'm getting a little bit closer, but I've got to hit one really good. That's not too bad. I haven't made it bounce too much, but at least I've got the line using a bit of right-hand side. Mark Williams is getting position on the pink next, but he's going the long way round to get there. His touch control of 4 cushions is absolutely perfect on this next shot. Although I'm pretty confident with this next one, because I think it's just going to be a case of hitting the shot hard enough with a trace of right-hand side. And I've seemed to got the line and the angle, but have I got the pace? That's actually not that bad for a first attempt. It's just going to be a case of hitting it harder. Which you wouldn't think would be that difficult, but for whatever reason, I'm just struggling to do that a little bit, and I keep getting the line or the pace of the shot wrong. I think what's happened, because I realise I just need a little bit more pace, that's changed how I'm playing the shot with a tiny trace of right-hand side, and I'm struggling to now get the pace and the line right, but this looks a lot better, and I'm absolutely perfect on the pink. Back to Judd Trump again. Just a warning, that's going to happen quite a bit. Once again playing a fairly standard exhibition shot that I usually can't play because my table simply isn't fast enough and it doesn't break at the right angles around the cushions. But I'm hoping that the cue ball starts off so close to the pink here, I might actually be able to get away with it. Although it's not all about power, you've got to get the side spin right as well. And that means getting enough right-hand side on the cue ball to avoid the green pocket and to go on the left side of it. If you hit the cue ball too low at the same time though, the cue ball's going to find its way into the top pocket, it seems like. So to get this one right, I need to play it with both topspin and a lot of right-hand side. I'm nearly getting it right. I just need to hit the cue ball a little bit higher, I think, with a tiny bit more right-hand side. I think I've got it right here, and I've hit it about as hard as I can. But as you can see, I've got nowhere near getting on and off the top cushion and back out for the black. It's looking like that's the best I can do. A similar shot from Mark Selby now, although you don't have to play this one anywhere near as hard, although the cue ball does need to get incredibly close to the black to make the shot work, and the shot takes advantage of the yellow being off its spot to get straighter in position on it. The pot's a bit awkward, but other than that the shot's okay. I've just gone too far here. It really didn't feel like I put that much power into it, so I'm a little bit surprised to find the cue ball's gone this far down the table. Even though this looks like a shot you have to hit quite hard, it doesn't need that much pace at all, and I got down for the yellow fairly easily in the end there. It doesn't matter that Judd Trump snookered himself on the green, he's going to pot it off the cushion anyway. Yes, this may be a little bit of a fluke, but he was going for this. So I'm going to give it a try, but I'm not sure how many attempts this is going to take me. I could be here quite a while unless I get a little bit lucky. With this type of shot, I have a relatively good idea where I need to strike on the cushion to hit the lower side of the green, although I can't guarantee I'm going to do this every time. But as long as I hit this point, it's just down to chance whether or not the green finds its way anywhere near the pocket or misses by a long way. But thankfully it's gone in, although the cue ball's going very close to the corner pocket. If that had dropped, I would have had to have tried again, and it could have been at least another 20 attempts before I even got close. Next we have Liu Hongyu, who can't get in position on the next red without going in and out of bulk. Now there are a few different ways he could have done this, but I don't think any of them would have worked out so well as the shot he actually played. The flick of the pink is absolutely perfect, and this is going to be a tough one to recreate. What I've worked out is I need to stun the cue ball to where the bulk line meets the cushion with a lot of left-hand side, and use that left-hand side to make the cue ball spin towards the brown. The more spin I can get on the cue ball, the more likely it is to come back across and hit the pink. But I've got to be incredibly accurate with this one, so I'm not sure how long it's going to take. And I think that was actually pretty lucky. Why not play another Judd Trump shot? We've got so many to choose from, and this is one of his classics. Play it twice around the table to get in position on the yellow, which will be made slightly easier this time possibly because the brown's not on its spot. Although in theory I shouldn't need to go anywhere near the brown spot in order to play this shot accurately. I just need to get round the green, and in fact get quite close to that. I've done it here, although I don't think I've quite hit the shot hard enough. It needs more pace. I don't know what it is with this shot, but I usually find it takes a few goes before you start generating enough power and begin to make the cue ball really fly around the table. A few shots later, and I think I've got it right. I've definitely hit it hard enough, although somehow I've managed to hit this one too hard, and I've actually landed right on top of the yellow. That's a little bit unlucky because I was going for as much power as I could, not thinking I could get it wrong. But this looks a lot better. I'm perfect on the yellow this time round. A thin cut on the green for my Hailong next causes him to find an unorthodox way to get in position on the brown next, having to go all the way round the table, and he does it pretty well. This one's going to be mostly about how low I strike, because where the cue ball hits the side cushion is going to be a big factor in where it ends up on the table and what line it takes. As you can see here, I seem to be finding it difficult to get in the right place and get back between the pink and the black, because I keep just hitting the white slightly too high, or on the other hand slightly too low, and I seem to be able to get it close and hit the middle jaw like that, hitting the wrong cushion, or be a bit low and get closer to the black. I'm closer with this one though, just a little bit too far away from it. Normally I'd stick with that because I'm actually in good position on the brown, but I think I can do a lot better, so I'm definitely going to give it a few more tries. Although even though I've got the line right once, I seem to be finding it difficult doing it again. Every time I play this shot, it seems to come off at a different angle, even though I'm hitting the white in virtually the same place. I just can't seem to get in that Goldilocks zone where the white goes between the pink and the black and hits the side cushion in the right place. I'm not sure how long this is going to take me, and I think I've found this more difficult than any shot I've played so far. And now I'm definitely regretting not having settled for the earlier shot, because I'm not sure I'm ever going to get this. Although this looks closer. I've missed the jaw and I'm actually in good position on the brown. It took a while, but I got there. Judd finds yet another way to get in position on the yellow next, this time using a lot of topspin, and I'm not entirely sure my table's going to be reactive enough to allow me to do the same thing, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm really not expecting to be able to arc the cue ball enough, but as it turns out, I'm getting too much topspin on the cue ball, and it's moving too much to the side cushion, and I can't spin it down the table. I really didn't think I was going to be able to get the cue ball to spin enough, and that's why, up until now, I've been using this cue ball, because for reasons I won't go into for a minute, it spins a little bit better across the table. So the only thing I can now try is the regular cue ball, and see if I can make it work with that. And although it doesn't look as impressive as Judd's, the shot came off more or less straight away. During the World Championships, Stuart Bingham couldn't get in position on the black, just potting the pink in the middle pocket, so he decided to play the double, and he manages to get it almost perfect on the black. I've set the balls up in as accurate position as possible as I usually would, but this doesn't quite feel right. I've hit the wrong cushion there, for example, so I've had to change it just a little bit and make a different angle. And I think I'm hitting the cushions in the right place, but it's difficult to tell. I'll need enough speed to get down the table, but it to be straight enough to run round the angles. I finally got one that's come down the table, but I hit the jaw and it's gone in off in the top pocket. I need to avoid the jaw somehow at the same time as making this double, and I just can't seem to get the pink to drop again. It's a difficult shot because I'm having to rest my fingers against the side of the table and then attempt to play it at full power, and that's why I keep jumping up off it, because there's no way I can hit it hard enough otherwise. I've just got to make sure the pink goes in the pocket again and see if I can get the cue ball back down the table in the same way. I've missed the jaws this time and avoided the in-off in the top pocket, but I can't get any closer. Competing against that, Luca Bracel's left himself a little bit short on the yellow, and rather than play the thin cut and finish out of position, he decides to play the double and finish in position on the green. So let's see if I can do the same thing, and to be honest with this one, if the brown wasn't there, it would be a fairly easy double. And I've realised that you can't see it unless I get it out of the way, so I'm going to move this time, and I seem to have got it. But which was the cheekiest? Cue the music. Luca Bracel's shot was pretty awkward and he could have cut it in, so he gets him 3. But Stuart Bingham's shot gets 4 and is clearly this week's winner. Obviously I can't give it any more than that because the frame wasn't live. I'm not sure this pink to black from Judd is actually that difficult, but it certainly looks good, especially as the cue ball comes back off the top cushion with a huge amount of side spin. So let's see if I can get it right. Even though I can reach this right-handed, I can only just reach it, so I wouldn't have been able to play it hard enough, and that's why I've had to flip the screen. I actually got far too much side spin on my first attempt, but my second looks a lot better. Until that is, I've had this big bounce off the top cushion. I've still managed to pot the black, however, although I have gone in off at the same time. Not just one, Mark Williams gets 2 reds off the cushion with this next shot, with what appears to be a natural angle, although we'll test that, as he seems to just run the cue ball through and finish perfectly in position on the pink at the same time. I think I've put a little bit of right-hand side on my first attempt, and that's why I missed the reds. So trying it again without the side, and it's come off pretty well. A little bit too hard for the pink, but both reds are over the pocket. A rest shot now from Ryan Day, and this happens to be a pretty good one, as he manages to get a lot of backspin on the cue ball and swing it back across the table, disturbing the 2 reds on the top cushion. This was very inventive and a very well executed shot at the same time. I'm not sure why, but I seem to be having a lot of difficulty with this one. Even though I've got close, already I've chipped it and seen the angle wrong on a number of different occasions. I finally got one, but is it too thin to be able to cut the red in? If so, I'm going to have to try again. Oh, it was just a little bit too thin, which means the shot isn't successful, and I do have to try it again. At least for now, I seem to have worked out where the pocket is, but unfortunately I can't get that successful shot because I'm getting the backspin wrong on a number of these. I'm either getting into it a little bit too much, which you can just about do, or I'm not quite putting enough backspin on the cue ball. I finally got it, and the red is thankfully unmissable. The cue power on display from Judd Trump now is actually pretty impressive, as he not only manages to pop the difficult brown into the top pocket, but screws the cue ball with left-hand side around 3 cushions, and not just gets on the blue, but actually goes so far he gets the wrong side of it. I'm fairly happy with that because I potted it straight away, hitting it about as hard as I possibly can, but unfortunately I'm still about 3 foot short with position. I'm going to give it a few more goes, but that might be the best I can physically do on this table. And that's because I'm so close with this one, there's nothing I can really do. I'm already getting as much backspin on the cue ball as is possible to do so. I just need to see if I can hit it a little bit harder, but that might not be possible. Although it's gone a tiny bit further here, but that is as far as the cue ball's going to go. I potted the blue though, so it doesn't really matter. Kyren Wilson deliberately leaves himself a pink he can't pot now, so he can play it off the baulk cushion. Not only that, he also plays it off the side cushion at the same time, so it makes the right angle to come back from the black. Initially I thought this was going to be easy, but then I realised the pink's actually a little bit further away from the pocket than it first looks. Despite this, I was still expecting to hit it on my first attempt, and my second wasn't too much better. I think I've got the angle now, and it's gone in, and I'm going to be on the black, so that's pretty good. Yes, you guessed it, it's Judd Trump getting in position on the yellow again. At least this time though, it's not on its spot. And he plays this by screwing the cue ball down the table, arcing it onto the side cushion to make the angle to go back between the yellow and green and get in position on that yellow. And I thought I played the first attempt perfectly, but unfortunately the cue ball just went a little bit too close to the yellow and too close to the cushion, meaning it wouldn't even cut in. So I've got to try it again. I find the hardest thing about this shot is getting the cue ball to spin backwards at the correct time. I'm either giving it a little bit too much or putting a little bit too much power into the cue ball so I don't get the spin. You've also got to cue it really well at the same time, and obviously pot the black, which I seem to be struggling with at the moment. However, I finally got it, and I'm in position on the yellow. Took a little bit too long, though. Before the next shot from Jack Lisowski, let's just find Nick in Hobe Sound, Florida, which is there. A thin cut is next on the black from Jack Lisowski, who deliberately leaves himself in this position, so he must have known he had a good chance of potting it, and the fact that he cut it in straight away shows he probably did. Well, that's good. Let's just not ruin it by being too smug.
That was easy, wasn't it?
Damn. And just when you thought you had enough of Judd Trump, he's back with a shot that looks like he's almost certainly going to have to play a double, but instead manages to cut it all the way along the cushion. Let's see if I can get this one. There's really not much to this one, it's just a very accurate pot, where you have no margin for error, because if you cut it away like I keep doing, it's obviously not going to go in, and if you touch the cushion, it's also going to miss. And on top of that, I'm fairly sure the ball rolls out as it comes down this cushion, and that's just going to make things even harder. This obviously isn't going to be ideal, because if it rolls away from the cushion too much, then a shot like this simply won't be possible, because there's no way of getting it closer to the pocket without playing it with more pace. But I am fairly confident if I can just get it close enough to the cushion, it'll run along it and stay true enough that I'll pot the ball. And I've just about got away with that and not gone in off. Once again this week, I'm letting you choose the winner, so just follow the link down in the description and choose the one you thought was best. And if you want to see more recreation shots just like this one, have a look at these two recent ones. And remember, don't just watch, play, and make the commitment to becoming a better player by subscribing to the channel and visit the website. See you later.